Good morning and welcome to Dualitea. I'm your host, Ash. And what's up, Lori? I was just talking about you. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me introduce my guest. Good morning, Maxine. Thank you
Grand
so much to be
Rising.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Of
I'm
course.
excited.
I'm really excited to have you. We've been thinking about this and kind of brewing this cup of duality for some time.
Yes, hunty.
And I am really happy to be here. And I feel like this topic and this podcast is something that is just important in general to be out there. And I feel like it's been coming up in the circles, which for those of y'all that know how I go about picking podcasts, I just try to make it as relevant as possible, and this is what's relevant. So we're going to get into, what our standards are. But before we do that, we got another special guest here. Her name is Rudy. Okay. And and she's a crystal quartz sound bowl next to us. So before we get into the topic, we're going to just ground down with a quick little meditation. I truly believe that our standards are connected to our worth and to our root and to our safety and our stability and being and embodying who we are. So I felt like it was just good to bring root with me today and to just bring that grounding energy. So without further ado, if you're open to a quick little meditation, take a moment to get comfy, take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. If you feel called to it, call in any of your spirit guides or any of your teachers on the other side that you wish to be present with you throughout this moment to ground yourself, thinking about our roots as our lineage, our ancestors like that, the loved ones that came before us to help us root down and protect us in this meditation. Taking another deep breath in and out. I pray in a good way that this bowl helps to release anything that is blocking us from understanding what we deserve and knowing what our worth is. And on this next rotation, I pray that we all give homage and honor to our roots and whatever that looks like for us, to ground ourselves and to know our worth and to uphold our standards in a good way like that. tension in your jaw, any tension in your shoulders. Moving your shoulders around, shaking it out, moving your hips or your legs, your arms, just shaking it out and coming back into the space here and now. When you feel comfortable, opening your eyes back up and returning back to this space. Shout out to you for being you. Take that with you in your day. There's nobody else that I'd rather be. I hope that feeling is mutual to everybody that's listening, to know your worth and to really embody who you are, because you deserve to. So, touching back base into this room. What are standards?
So I actually did a little, little written down stuff on my end, as far as standards and what they actually mean to me. So standards is, a reflection of yourself. At least I feel that way. It's a level of quantity of attainment or your worth. Principles, that you have for yourself. I guess that goes with, boundaries as well. How you carry yourself, what you welcome and what you know, don't welcome in your world. That's how I feel about standards. I feel like I'm in a space in my life of like, what am I allowing and what I'm not going to allow, and making room for that new that needs to come in, because you have that comfortability. Ooh, child, that comfortability. Because you're so used to things a certain way, and that's okay. But if you want change and new growth, you got to make space for that, and I'm in that space right now. It's just like, okay,
I'm right
well,
there with you, sis.
all right, like, if you continue doing something a certain way all the time and you getting the same results, what is that telling you? That something got to change, if that's not the direction you want to go. You got to go, all right, well, this didn't work. Let me go this route and see what that works for me. And let me let that go. And that's where I'm at with everything in my life right now. And I feel like a lot of people are at this moment in time. It's just like, okay, they don't know how to go about it because of their comfortability. And it's just like, pace yourself, be gentle with yourself. It's okay. Okay, you do this today, but tomorrow, you may want to just chill, and that's okay. And some people, we put so much pressure on ourselves because we're our own critic, and yeah. That's where I'm at with everything, and just coming out of my comfort zone. Like, even just being here today, I'm so humbly thankful and grateful. Shout out to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Like, I have done a pod before, but not live. But even so, like, I was fearful of it because I wasn't comfortable being me. And that's what a lot of things is revolving is, being comfortable with yourself. And even when you fail, when you're not really failing, because your blessings are your lessons at the end of the day.
I resonate so deeply with everything that you're saying right there. Like, literally, you just described my whole yesterday. Like, I was just saying, excuse me. I was just saying yesterday, shout out to Angela and to Sal and to my mom and everybody who helped me yesterday. We had a recording day, where we were documenting, a part of my process, which is closing down my physical location of my spa. And I'm gonna get more into that, and that'll be another pod, or it won't, or whatever. I don't know, but I have a video that I was working on with Angelo, that I had gotten done. Well, is in the process of getting done. of the process of me closing my establishment, because I'm not closing my business. And although, like, I'm taking a step back from it so I can reevaluate it and, like, really understand how to go about the vision of how I see it when that time is right. I am taking a step back because I am in need of stability at this moment in my life, and it feels good to honor that. And I feel like people don't document that. Like, people don't put that process out. Like, everyone's so quick to be like, "Oh my god, this is my grand opening." But nobody talks about the times in between, like when you have to transition, when you have to take a step back, when you have to get another job to pay for, your ultimate goal, to save up and to have things and to know when your next paycheck is, like, starting from not having any guidance in the area, I feel like I've done immensely well. And it could look like it's an L that I'm taking right now, or a setback, or a failure, whatever the case is. But that was something, like, a question that Angela had asked me at the end of the video, where he was like, "Would you say that you're successful?" And, like, and I was talking, I was like, I would still say that I'm successful. If in fact I feel more successful now than I have in a long time, because I'm listening to myself. And I say all this to tie into what you were saying. I was also saying how I used to be so afraid to talk on a microphone, or in front of a camera. My perfectionism would be so crippling as far as, like, posting anything, right? Unless it was just like some impulsive ass, like, funny shit, or like whatever, or like, oh, I look good in this picture, whatever. You know what I mean? Or, oh, I'm silly in this picture, because
Right, right,
I
right.
definitely don't just post pictures I look good in. I definitely post some, like, very questionable, like, why would she post that? But okay, you know, like, things. Funny enough, I don't really think about that. You know what I mean? That's why I would be like, I'm like, if I laugh at it or if I like it, I just post it.
Right.
But if I have to think about it, I have to really think about it, it usually sits on the shelf. I got, like, a archive of a lot of content, pictures, even of events that aren't even mine, that I'm like, oh, like, I still want to post it in a certain way, and I need to say something about it. I want to write under it. You know what I mean? So it's like, working through that, being human,
Yeah.
but also, like, just having, like, even before we started this podcast, I always pray before we do the podcast. And, like, I used to be so afraid to pray out loud in front of people, you know? And I would do it with a shaky voice, but I didn't do it for a long time. Like, I was afraid. I was so afraid that I wouldn't do it. But I wouldn't say that I was afraid because, ego. So I'd just be like, I don't want to do that. But it's like, I was afraid. Why was I afraid? I was afraid to be seen. I was afraid to say something wrong. I was afraid to say something that didn't make sense, or, like, whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, do it with a shaky voice, you know what I'm saying? And what I was saying with Angelo yesterday, like, once I realized, especially through this podcast, like, you can make authentic content and put that on online. Like, I always felt like if a camera was involved, it's automatically inauthentic because everybody's putting on a show,
Right.
right? And I feel like my podcast really, like, breaks that mold, because it's just there's no editing, it's very raw,
Yeah.
like, and it just is what it is. It's just us having a conversation. Now, even more so, where we don't gotta break our necks being side to side, like, we get to look
Okay.
directly
Yeah.
across from each other. I feel like my body feels even more organic, because it's like, technically, in that kind of podcast, you're supposed to look straight with that setup. But I can't help but look at people, because if I'm not looking at you, I don't feel like I'm talking to you. You know
Right.
what I mean? So all that to say, like, between that and, like, the pandemic, like, having to do the moon meetings online, you know, something I never had intentions on doing, made me realize, like, oh, you can really give, like, authentic and safe spaces into, like, the cyber realm, if you are just being you, if you're just matching yourself, like. So yeah, I just resonate with what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it.
I love that because you're being, like you said, being your authentic self and staying true to yourself. A lot of people don't know how to do that. And I feel like the pandemic has a lot to do with that as well. Everybody being inside, that could be a good thing, but then a bad thing at the same time, because we're social people, and anxiety and things of that nature. But as I was saying, back to the main topic, um, I just want to say the anime. Shout out to Ash with this anime because I'm so obsessed. Naruto. Oh my god. I'm in like season 4, and I just want to say that anybody that is going through things, it has such deep depth in it. Like, I kid you not. Like, for me, especially because it's motivating me more to step in the unknown and to release and, like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, I did it though. You can't say I didn't do it. Did you do it? No. All right. Then you can't however it comes out, you know, because like I said, it's a learning lesson at the end of the day. You know, it's a blessing, and I'm appreciative to it. Like, even to, like I said today, hey guys, I'm not used to this, but I'm so comfortable and I'm so thankful for this at this moment in time. So that's to say, I want people to know, like, you know, push yourself out your limit. You know, sometimes you have to. You know, it's okay to start over. It's okay to start over. You know how many times I say, all right, I'm going to work out. And I start, and then I stop. And I'm like, you know
Oh, I
what?
hear that too. I know all about that.
I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to it next week. It's all right.
Yeah, especially when you got a gym membership involved. You like, all right, I'm back from my vacation. Then just like keeps on getting taken out, clipped every month, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like when you're embarrassed to go back to school. I don't know. I don't know if y'all went to school when you had school, but I didn't, you know, and I wouldn't go for like a long periods of time. And then I would go and I will never forget that I had this one science teacher because after lunch period I would just never go to school. I would leave. And so like I went to science class one day after my lunch period, and he literally stopped the whole class and he looked at me and he was like, "Wait, who are you?" And I was like, I literally just like collected my stuff and I was just like, I just left. I didn't even say, I didn't even answer. I was just like, yo.
Dang.
So I be feeling like that when it comes to the gym. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm like, they know I haven't been here. Like, I'm scamming my shit. They're gonna be like, wow. And I'm like, nah, it's not even that serious. Like, that's my fucking Leo ass rising being mad annoying. Like, it's like that.
I'm done.
But
Oh my
yeah, back to
God.
what you're saying, all about starting over. I feel you.
No,
I
it's
feel
true.
that.
It's so true. Because sometimes we're, like I said, we're our own critics and we psych
Mhm.
ourselves out. And it's okay. Like, it's all right. Like, you know, pace yourself. It's okay to pace yourself. It's all right. Be patient. Listen, I think that's the most biggest thing for me in my journey right now is having patience with myself,
Mhm.
you know, because we have these goals and these dreams, and we just want to get there already. But then it's just like you have to go through certain things, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. When you go through these trials and errors, they're molding you and preparing you for what you're asking for. And a lot of
Mm.
people don't get that. Like, why is this happening to me?
Can't miss that part.
Well,
It's like, why is it happening for you? Why? Not like, what is it showing you?
right.
You know, rather than not why me. Is
Right.
like, okay, why is this happening? Like, what is coming on?
Exactly.
What is it showing me internally within myself,
Yep.
within my environment?
Yep.
You know, what needs to shift? Because it's
Yes.
like we are creatures of habit, we are creatures of comfort. And
Mhm.
sometimes we get too caught in that. Sometimes we're like, all right, I know this ain't good, but like it feels good to a part of me. So I'm gonna endure this so that I don't have to feel that aloneness, that discomfort, or whatever it
Mhm.
is, you know.
It's a balance. Back to duality.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying?
mhm, mhm,
But, you know, it listen, like I said, you're your own reflection of what you want your world to be. Take your time, you know. Sit down with yourself, you know, love yourself. And I feel like a lot of people don't know how to love themselves or be alone and accept that. How do you want something or someone, but it starts with you? How can you attract something that you're not?
And that brings us completely to standards, because it's like, how can you know? I, yeah, it's crazy. Like, most of us don't have standards until we realize it. Like, we don't actually have standards. Like, people think like, oh, you have standards, that has to be like a checklist and it's so
Mhm.
extra and you have
Mhm.
high standards. Like, people
Mhm.
use that as like a, like a arsenal against
Mhm.
you for a person who knows their worth, because a person who doesn't know their worth is going to look at it like that. And it's like, it's important to pay attention to that, because how can you know what you deserve if you don't feel like you deserved anything? Like, if you don't know what you deserve, like, you got
Yeah.
to tap into that
Yeah.
worthiness. You got to tap into that self-love.
Yeah.
You got to tap into that, what you want, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? What you need.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Like, that's like what you want and what you need make up your standards. Like, you don't have to feel bad for knowing your worth. Like,
Exactly.
I feel like so many people make you believe that you need to.
Yeah.
Like, especially as women. I mean, I can't speak as a man because I'm not one, but like, I even just like in the interactions that I've had with plenty of men, just observing it, like, it's like also something obviously that they struggle with as well. Like, I have plenty of guy friends that, like, I see them struggle with the standards. I see them struggle with the worthiness as well in their own way. It just looks different than with women.
Women.
You know, with women, it's like so written on us,
Yeah.
because everything has to be this like aesthetic and this way. And you got to be, you know, you can't take no shit, but you can't be too stern and like
Mhm.
this and that. And there's like so many expectations at hand. And then it's
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, but if you're like, oh, well, I want a man or a woman or a person who is this way. And it's like, oh, you got high standards. Like, you ain't gonna find no luck doing that. And it's
Mhm.
like, says who?
Right.
Says you? You know, and no
Exactly.
offense to you, but at the same token, maybe a little offense, because you need to sit with that. Because at the end of the day, one of the things that I really live by is like, I don't take advice from people who don't embody what I want to embody. Like, if you're in an unhealthy relationship and you've never had any exposure to a good relationship and you're trying to give me relationship advice, you know, respectfully, like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to take that with the biggest grain of salt. I'm going to take that with a Himalayan salt lamp. You feel me? Like, I'm just grab that and keep pushing, because like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Like, just on like not even on a non-emotional level, like, what are we talking about here? Like, logically, like, that don't make no sense, no types of sense. So like, once again, emotional creatures, and also like our egos getting involved. People are like, oh, but you gotta learn from my mistakes. And I feel like, yo, that's valid. Like, I know some people that are in fucked up relationships that give great relationship advice.
Right.
You know, once again, like, people do know better and struggle to do better.
Yeah.
And I know all about that. So
Yeah.
I'm not here to judge nobody
No,
for
yeah.
it. It's the people that be pushing that you got big standards and that this and that you need to minimize yourself, because if you don't minimize yourself, that means that when they look at you, they have to look in the mirror at that part that's not doing that for themselves.
Absolutely.
If you have standards and they don't have standards in their relationship or partnership or business relationship or friendship, because the standards aren't just
It's true.
limited to
Yeah.
romantic.
Yep. You're
You
absolutely
know,
right.
when they look at you and they're like, oh, like you're holding yourself to a certain regard, like, we don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that,
Right.
because I need you to be here. And like, that does work with work too. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you're in one of these big corps where you're a number, God forbid you know your worth. You
You're
become
not
a
lying.
problem.
Yeah, that's true. You're
You
not
become a
lying.
threat. And if
Yep.
you don't have any kind of union,
Mhm.
they come for you.
Yep.
Even if you do, they come for you, but just a little bit less, because they know that they're going to come back for them, you know?
Yep.
So,
You're not lying at all. Like you said, it's not just relationship wise, like in the work environment, standards. You can, I can like you personally outside the work, but when I work with you, you don't have that work ethic, and that's where my standards like, I'm a dissing myself from you, kind of thing.
yeah, we're not
No
as
disrespect or anything, because I have certain standards how I work and how I want to work a certain way, and you don't work like that. But hey, I do like you personally, but hey, not work ethic wise. Like, so it's okay to have standards, have boundaries for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that, male or female. Like, stand on your own 2 feet and hold on to that,
Mhm.
and I just listen. I came a long way myself. I'm preaching because of the simple fact that I've been through my own fair share of trials and errors, and I didn't see my worth. I didn't see. I didn't have boundaries. A recovering people pleaser, basically. Kind of thing. And now it's just like, oh, this is what people see. Oh, I see it. Okay, let me hold up for a second. Let me show you something. Let me show you one time for the one time kind of thing. Not to toot my own horn. I'm still, learning and growing and loving, and I'm taking accountability. A lot of people don't know how to take accountability. I know where my flaws are and where I need to work on, and I'm working on my own pace, not on your pace, on my own pace. And people need to understand that, like, I know where I'm at. I know who I am. I love myself. I wouldn't change myself for anybody else. And you should do the same, like, respectfully.
Mhm.
So
Rather than trying to minimize a person like that, you should get inspired and encourage them, because that person, even if you're not fucking with everything that they're saying, like at the end of the day, like, you know, put respect that they're honoring themselves. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, I just, people don't realize that they're getting triggered when they're getting triggered. I feel like a lot of times, like, they're not aware of the fact that they're getting triggered. So the projection takes over. So
Mhm.
instead of being like, oh, I'm triggered because I'm not honoring myself and doing this for me, they're like, oh, like, why the fuck does this person think that they're so good that they deserve this? And it's because not the person just don't think that they're better. You don't gotta think you're better than
Right.
anybody to have standards. You just have limitations on the shit that you're not trying to do it no more.
Yeah.
Like, like, no funny shit here, no weird shit over there, no funky shit over there. Like, if I'm not feeling it, I don't need to sit here and give myself 100 reasons why I should be feeling it. I don't feel it.
Mhm.
I don't fuck with it. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, like, I take a moment. I don't just be bouncing on things, but like, I take a moment, like, oh, okay, like something's not working, and in any area of your life. It could be a car parking spot. If it's not working and your car's not fitting in there and you're not gonna hit a car in front of you or behind you, like, find another spot. You know what I'm saying? It don't gotta be that deep, but it is everything, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Not the one to ask if you don't think that, but it doesn't have to be as deep as, like, it's always a relationship. It's always a business relationship. It's always familial or platonic. Like, it's it could be as simple as just like you're getting ready in the morning. You
I
know what
was
I'm
just about
saying?
to say that. Lord have mercy this morning, guys. Lord. I love my mama. God damn. Because I know myself, right? I'm preparing myself for today, right?
Mhm,
And I'm like, all
mhm.
right, got this, got that, this is that. All right, me being who I am, I could put on something I ain't gonna like it, and I need to put on something else. So I have multiple options for myself. I'm like, all right,
Multiple something else's.
yeah, like,
Mhm.
and I'm putting everything on. Okay, all right, this is it. Where you going? What do you mean where I'm going? I ain't get to wear that. What you wearing? You can't wear it first. All right, we don't got that time for this pettiness. She's like, I'm setting boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like we all, I feel like we all do our best with the information that we got, and sometimes it looks like that. Sometimes it looks like that. I understand. I've
Like,
heard that many. Like, I'm like, how you gonna? I've been talking about boundaries for so long, and you fight me on every time I say them, and now you're gonna throw a boundary card
yo, today.
today in this way. It's like you're right, but like, talk to me nice, please. My feelings are hurt. We don't gotta go there like that. And this is petty. I feel you. I feel you. We do the best with the tools we got, and sometimes, we got more of an abundance of pettiness
Oh
than
my
the compassion
God.
in the
Like,
moment.
really? Like,
I
really?
feel that though.
God damn. Oh my God. Um, I wanted to talk about, like, well, I wanted to ask you in particularly, what do you see your heaven on earth look like?
Yo, hold on. Am I wearing my Heaven on Earth shirt? I think I am. Literally. Hold on. Does it say Heaven on Earth?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Heaven on
Yeah.
earth.
You know what's mad funny? I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with you guys. This is like a weird situation that happened earlier, and it's kind of gross, but don't judge me. I put on my shirt. I had this like really cute Death Leopard shirt, like TJ Maxx. Shout out to the men's section, you know what I'm saying? And like it's mad cute. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. And then like I felt like this little piece of the sleeve, like I just kept on feeling that. I'm like, why do I keep smelling like cat pee? Like what the fuck? Like I'm like looking around. I'm like, I'm thinking, I'm not even gonna get into my children's names and what they be doing. Sometimes, specifically, all right, maybe I will Eden. You know what I'm saying? If you're listening to this at home, get it together, okay? Because I get sick and tired of your spite, you know? And this was an act of spite. He's very particular. If you don't get a food he wants, if things are moved in his area or if I messed with him or something, like if I picked him up too many times in the day because he don't like getting picked up, but I'm like, you're mad cute. You shouldn't be mad cute. I can't tell, like, you know what I mean? So I like, he'll come back at me. So he came back at me and just peed a little bit, just like sprayed a little bit on one of my shirts because I had put my shirt out, like have it ready. So I'm like, yo, like are you dead ass? I'm about to walk out the room. Why do I walk out the house? I'm already like running late. Like I gotta go, And I'm like, oh shit, that's on this shirt. So I took it off, I baby wiped myself real fast. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go and like grab this shirt. But something told me to grab this shirt. Someone's like, yo, grab this shirt. All right, let me get into the actual question. Now y'all know my TMI. My campaign on my shirt, me having to change, whatever. You know what I mean? I was on a time crunch. Wasn't that serious. Wasn't a big area.
Yeah.
But yeah, my Heaven on Earth. First of all, shout out to you and shout out to Kid Cudi, since that's just like a relevant thing here. It looks like, first of all, I love clouds, so I just want to talk about it for a second. Like, I just love clouds. Like, why do I like clouds? I'll unpack that.
Is that an air thing?
Super airy. I was literally about to get into that. It's just air and space, and it's something that's so beautiful but can't be touched by anybody. And I think that I really, really find, like, because when I think of heaven, right, and I think of heaven on earth, I can't help but think of clouds and just beautiful clouds and sky. The sky is just so pretty. I love the sky. I just be looking at the sky. I love the sky. I will really like heaven on earth is having a moment to lay on a hill and look at the clouds and not have to worry about what I need to do. Heaven on earth is when I can have a space and not fill it with a bunch of things out of preparation for every possible scenario that could ever happen, but to know that I'm well prepared enough with the smaller amount of items that I have and that I'm the most valuable tool that I have. Heaven on earth to me is to just to embody what it is to be me, to trust myself and to honor like my space. Like I'm just big on space right now, especially like yesterday, like I had a moment in the spa room that I was renting. Like I had this, I still have it, it's up there still. It's an avocado chair, shaped chair. And it's like a little egg chair. And, after emptying out the room, like the room is almost completely empty. It was just space. And like my air purifier light was on. And it's like this blue light. And it shut off all other lights. It's just that light. And like my friend Sal says to me, like, oh, like just sit, like just enjoy this. Like it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like we've been at it since like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, straight up. And he's like, just take a moment to enjoy the space. Like, it's gonna be one of the last times you're here. And I was like, you're right. And I sat there and I was just like emotional. Like I'm just like swinging in the swing. I'm looking at this empty room that was once filled with so many beautiful things. And like, it wasn't even necessarily overpacked. It was gorgeous. You know what I mean? It's just like, but there's something about space that is like, if the thing that I'm most attracted to right now in my life is space. So my heaven on earth involves a lot of it. I don't know if I could ever be a minimalist, the way my trauma is set up. I don't could ever be that. You know, I don't know if I even want to be that because I like to have shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like to have a a like avocado peeler or like a melon boiler, like you know these little tools that are specific, like pizza cutter. Like yo, you might not use that shit a lot, but when you need to cut a
Oh,
pizza
yeah.
or a quesadilla,
Yeah.
what do you need that
Yeah.
shit because you be over here struggling with a knife looking stupid. You
Right.
know what I mean? I like to. My dad always said, I don't know if this is like I think it's a little bit of like the MacGyver in them, and the hoarder in them, like at the same time. Like whereas like you know if you have the right tool for the job, like you can get anything done, and that's true. I do agree with that. I feel like that even more, even beyond the physical feel like there's a deeper meaning for that too, you know, and I think about it hindsight. So like I think that my heaven on earth looks like a lot of me giving space and grace to things. And I feel like I've already started doing that. So I'm grateful to be cultivating my heaven on earth because I deserve that shit.
Yeah,
I've
you
had hell
do.
on earth a lot of my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to, you know, pulling down the clouds onto this earthly realm and chilling in them.
Yeah.
That's my answer. What is
That's
yours?
beautiful. Ah. Oh, my heaven on earth. Um, uh,
Also fuzzy things. Like I like texture
I was to say
and
fluffy. The
secret
first thing in my
doors.
head thought of fluffiness with you, like just fluffy and soft with when you say your heaven on earth.
Fluff and squishes.
Yeah. Um, I feel like my heaven on earth is really embracing myself, you know, and doing for myself and having that balance and being balance in, you know, the physical world and the spiritual world and being able to do my mission here on earth. Um, and having peace, you know, and work smarter and not so hard on things, you know, and having like yeah, just having that nice deep breath and like realize like relaxation, like you know, and just somewhere in the islands because I feel like I'm an island girl at heart, you know, and I guess that's when the earth comes into play because I do like grounding my feet. I like, you know, fruits. I just like to be. I don't know how to like describe it, just to be like, you know, embody being, you know, and if I can be able to touch other people's lives in the midst of that and help them to get their heaven on earth in a balancing way when I don't overdo it. That's a plus for me because I genuinely feel like everybody deserves their heaven on earth and everybody deserves happiness and finding that balance within themselves and in their life, you know, and it's not easy and it's hard and I get the fact that, you know, it's good to seek help. But majority of the time you got to do most of the work. You know, you can't always depend on that person cuz I would say that I've learned that like, you know, you go to friends for advice and things of that nature, but they're not you. So, you're taking advice from somebody else instead of taking the advice from yourself. So, you're going by and moving by them instead of moving by yourself. And people don't understand that. Sometimes you just need to sit in silence, and people are scared to sit in silence. Oh my God. I when I was at work and I told one of my providers and I said, "Yeah, I meditate." And he said, "Do you listen to anything?" No. He's like, "So you just sit there in silence?" Yeah, it's the most peaceful thing to me ever. Like, I'll open the window, that nice breeze is so beautiful. Hearing the crickets is so beautiful. Like, just in taking that and embodying that and just being back to that being, like, it's just so beautiful to me in that present moment when you take that deep breath and you're inhaling the fresh air, even though it's not really fresh, but y'all know what I mean. And and just hearing the wind, the breeze hitting the trees, like that is such so blissful to me. So beautiful and just being and embodying that and loving that. And I'm on the journey of that, loving myself more and and creating my heaven on earth I see for myself and not looking to seek a handout or seek for help with doing it for myself. Yes, there's gonna be people that's willing to help you along the way and it's okay to take, but also know when to you don't have to always take. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. Just because somebody offers something to you, not all the time you have to take it from them. You don't. You know what I'm saying? That's for you. You don't need to take that. You need to do that for you. Cause then at the end of the day, you can say, I did that for me. You know what I'm saying? That person can never say, like, oh well, I do no, 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 no. I did that. And that's such a beautiful feeling that when you accomplish something for you, and I go back to like, standards. Go that's look full circle. That's crazy. Uh but it's a process. You got to be patient, and I'm learning that being more patient with myself to reach my heaven on earth. And I have a lot going on, and sometimes I'm like I could do more, and I'm trying to push and push and push, and it's just like no matter how much you're gonna push, you're still gonna go the pace you're going because it's meant to go at that
Or
pace.
slower.
Yes.
Or slower when you get
Yes.
knocked on your ass.
Yes, because you have seasons. People don't understand you have seasons. You have your resting season. And when you have your resting season, rest. Enjoy that. Relax. Don't be so antsy about it all the
And
time.
especially women, we got a different season every week. And I think people like really need to understand that, men and women. Some women
Yes.
don't understand that, each stage that we're in our cycle is a different season.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely. And a lot of people don't like, well, this person's doing this, but I'm doing this like this, so why I'm not there because it's not your season. It's not your season. Your season's to rest
you
right
might be
now.
in winter.
Like
Summer's gonna come.
exactly. And
But
then when it comes, then you'll be like, "Oh, I got so much stuff going on. Oh my god!" Like
or you're not even gonna be ready for it.
exactly.
Mm.
And that's teaching you something, which is a lesson once again.
Which is once again teaching you to just come back into yourself, because if you understand what season you're in, then you could surrender to what is being asked of you.
And people don't know how to do that, just to surrender and don't force things. Don't force them. Let it flow. And a lot of people don't know how to do that too. Like it's okay. Just surrender and let things flow, and everything's going to work out for itself. And have faith. I don't know everybody's belief system, but at least have faith in yourself.
I definitely want to just speak real quick on like on a pocket that I feel like gets really triggered when hearing that sentence. Like so many people, everyone has their own ideology of what surrendering is,
Mhm.
but I want to especially like speak on the people that are going through abuse in any manner. You know, I just want to give space to be like, there might not, you're literally in fight or flight all the time, whether that's in your partnership or in your family or wherever you're receiving any kind of abuse that you're receiving in this life. And at this time, I just know that a lot of my friends that are going through abusive like seasons in their life, when they hear like, yo, just surrender, it's like, it's literally like I'm saying, like, die, like,
Mm.
just die,
Mm.
because the association with surrender, first of all, of just like giving up, right?
Mm.
And it's like, no, surrender is just like letting happen, but
Yeah.
at the same token, like, you can't really tell a person who is going through something like that to just surrender, and it's like, so I just want to give a little pocket and a little space, um to just return to yourself and to listen to you, because like surrender looks like that, and maybe that word might not be the association you need to hear to feel supported and seen,
I agree.
but find whatever it is that you need to go back to yourself, because you did it. You've been okay in the past. You will be okay as much as you honor yourself. And what that looks like is just listening to you. And if that is to step away from a person, if that is to step away from a place, is that if that is to stay, if that is to get therapy involved, if that, whatever that looks like for you, like, and nobody's gonna know better than you. A million people could offer the help, they could pay for it, they could not. Some people don't get that privilege or have that accessibility to have any of those resources. So especially for those folks, I just noticed a lot of people that I really love, that are very close to me, are going through a season like that. And I just want to give space and acknowledgement for them, because it's like I almost felt like by contact of being around them that I was like fake triggered by surrender. And I'm not, because I understand triggering. I mean, I understand surrendering in that way, but yeah, like, just go back to you, whatever that looks like. And I just pray for everybody or anybody that's going through a tough time where they feel like anything's out of their control, whether they have children involved or whether they have, their inner child involved. There's always a child involved, whether it's outside of you or inside of you. And like, I just pray that you give those kids what they need. And it's like, yeah, like I just feel like, yeah, I felt real called to like just
Say
talk about
that.
that
You
because
said that very beautifully because, like you said, do whatever it doesn't matter what anybody else gonna say or give or do. It's what you feel safe to do. And I completely
and
felt
what you
that.
have to create safety, because
Yes.
some people aren't in no safety, and we know that, and
Yes.
we've experienced that at different times of our life, so we can understand and resonate with that.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean, like when I say like it's so important to talk about, give safe spaces for a little bit of everything, because it's
Absolutely.
like if we're just talking about one spectrum, we're not honoring every season.
Mhm.
That's why it's like I used to always joke around and say, I always say like love and light, and I would be like shadow and integration. Like and it's just like, but it's all like encompassing all. And like, once again, in order to have any understanding of like our standards, and like to know what it is that we deserve, like we have to carve out safety for ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to understand what we need to
Yeah.
like function at baseline. And most of us aren't functioning at baseline. That's why we didn't have standards.
Yeah.
Because the first person that will give you love, that will show you what you need, what you're lacking, right? That like give you attention, answer your text messages right away, call you. Some people literally all they know is abuse, in the fact of they didn't have anybody around them, all of this neglect. So the moment somebody starts giving them attention, even if it's too much, even if it's on some narcissistic level where someone's trying to control you and hold you, like because they're getting the attention they never got, that's their bare minimum standard, is
Mhm.
to literally get attention,
Yeah.
not even on their time. So to reevaluate that looks like, what do I need? Like what do I need? Like, okay, like I might need a certain amount of attention, but like where is my limit of like, I know this is getting codependent. I know this is getting, this is getting unhealthy in any sense, in any dynamic, whether, friendship, you know, work, whatever the case is. Like I feel like I had a friendship with I'm not gonna say who it is, but I have a friendship with somebody who is very important to me, right? And we have friendship still, but it's very different now. But there was a point where it was like, I'll speak for myself, like I didn't even realize it, but I was leaning into to using, not using this person. I don't want to say using. I was unconsciously aware that like I was being codependent with this person, because like the attention I needed, the time I needed, because it's like, yeah, I was always comfortable with like being with myself because I was by myself so much of my life. So I never thought like, oh, I'm not comfortable being by myself. I can meditate with myself. I've sat with certain things at different times. Like I've sat with dark parts of myself, so I'm not afraid of that. Simultaneously, like I was on the phone all the time, like on my drives home, on stuff like that, and like all these things. And it was like to a point where it was like, that's okay to still talk on the phone, but like it was like excessive.
Yeah.
And once I became aware of that, I'm like, okay, like I'm aware of certain things. And like also when it comes to like touching base on a moment of like with romantic partnerships, like every time I would start to get standards and be like, okay, this is what I really want, like I would be challenged with different people who give me some of those things. And not that every box needs to be crossed off, but there's some non negotiables. And I would negotiate them because I would have other things met. And I'll be like, oh, okay, like you're really thoughtful and mindful when you want to be. But like, I don't need like a material item or this or that. Like, what I need is like literal presence. And like I can't compromise that. Like that's a standard of mine that I can't compromise. I want presence. Like if you can't give me the presence, then just tell me. I'm really like scatterbrained right now. Like I'll come back when like I get it. I get like that too. Sometimes when I talk to people and I notice that I'm on my phone while I'm talking to them and I'm doing too much, I'm like, you need to get off the phone because you're not being present with this person. That's not fair. And I'm guilty of it too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm open to being called out on it. And then the same thing happens too. Like when it comes to work environments, you know what I'm saying? Like setting certain standards. Like I have these boundaries. Like I need to be accessible to this. I need to be aware of this. Like, these different dynamics, like walking into a space and just knowing what your standards are and what your expectations are, as far as like what you see happening in that partnership is so important. Whether whatever it is, and then the same thing goes with your friendships. Like, hey, like I know we can't talk every day, but like I'm going through a tough time. Like if you can like make some time for me to just to chat when you have the ability. I feel like just saying these things and having these standards and communicating them, because you could have them, but then you need to communicate them.
Communicate,
Because if you don't, then you're just
yes.
fucking forcing people to do what you need. And
Yeah.
that's not even okay. Because that's
No.
manipulation.
Yep.
And it's like, I know I get triggered. Like when I feel like somebody's trying to pull from me, whether it's my friend, whether it's a partner, whether it's whoever the fuck, business, it don't matter. Like
Right.
family member. If somebody's trying to do something and pull something out of me without just asking me for it, resentment starts to build. And like and I'm a human too, so I try to my best to diffuse the situations by kind of nipping it and being like, oh, like, do you need something? What do you need? I like to just ask, what do you need?
Straightforward.
Yeah, just straight, like, what is it
That's
that you
me.
need right now? You know what I'm saying? Because like, let's just clear this up because I feel like you're taking from me
Yeah.
unconsensually.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't even realize that they're doing it. But I have to remind myself, okay, just because they don't know that they're doing it doesn't mean that you
It's
can accept
accepted.
it and not
Yep.
like you
Yes.
rationalize it. Like, nah, like maybe they're not the worst person, but maybe that's a person you also need some distance around, or you need to just set some more firm boundaries with
Yeah.
them. And you communicating can inspire them
Yeah. You're teaching them at that point. Like you need to. Sometimes people,
by
like you said, they're not
embodiment.
aware. Yeah, you got
Mhm.
to teach them because it's hard to. For me, I think I'm in that process right now, like using my throat chakra on certain
Eh.
things because, like I'm the type of person I'll embody it for two like, and I'll just keep piling and piling and piling, and then I'm like, shh, and I'm like, listen, I don't like the, and they're like, you could have just said that. And I'm like, yeah.
I feel that. I feel like I'm really discerning how to be in between
Yeah.
because I used to be that, or it's like as soon as something bothers me, I'm saying it off like jump.
Yep.
And then it's like, all right, maybe I didn't need to say that. There's kind of actually, there's a lot. It could have just like waited. No one even that. Like, cause sometimes, like, I'm like, yo, you're mad annoying. Like, what the fuck? Stop doing this or whatever it is. You know what
Right.
I mean? But really, I'm just overstimulated. Like,
Yeah.
maybe the person's annoying too, but like, you didn't have to say that. It's kind of mean, rather than just being like, yo, I'm overstimulated right now. Give me a second. Like, it's like,
Right.
I need to find the language as an adult.
And a lot of people don't know how to do that, just and it's okay. Like I said, even me, like I'm still finding that balance with myself and knowing how to just be like, hey, and that's that. And then some people don't hear it. Like you can say it to people and it goes right over their heads. And it's just like But we just had this conversation and I just said what I said and you're still continuing
Still doing
doing
what you're
it.
doing.
Why? Like,
Yeah.
it's unnecessary because it's just like if you truly love somebody in platonic or relation, whatever it is, you're gonna respect their boundaries, their standards. That's the
At
way.
least try to, you know.
Like, and if you can't just communicate and be like, hey, can we compromise? This is how I feel. Like, once again, communicate if that's like something that we need to discuss, and that can be really frustrating because I feel like like I said, I'm in this process of like, all right, I'm setting my standards and boundaries, and it's just like I need to make room for new because I'm I'm like this,
Hmm.
and I'm like, alright. And when the divine start working, he like, are you dead serious? He start bringing you, you like, kind of thing. So
Sort of kind of things. But it's like, are you gonna hold out for the sort of kind of thing, or are you gonna wait for like the thing that you know?
exactly. And it's worth it. I know it's a journey, but it's worth it. It's just that, all right, well, if you can't respect that as I'm going through my journey, then you're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be on my journey. You was only supposed to be here for a season, and that's it. And you just gonna have to accept that. Yes. So
I don't know. Something that you said just reminded me of a moment that I just want to be accountable for. Just because like as I am learning, to uphold my standards and to uphold my boundaries, because I feel
hmm
like standards and boundaries really do go together.
yeah.
Um, there's a moment I had many years ago, um, where an ex of mine, we hadn't spoken for a while, and I forgot why we decided that we were gonna like see each other, like parked on the side of their house, and we were like standing like posted up over by like the fire hydrant, and I remember they were like they set a boundary, like don't touch me, don't come close to me,
Mhm.
like. And it was because of the energetic thing, they didn't want to, like, we had a very intense relationship, very intense dynamic. So like we were like trying to heal from everything,
Right.
and their boundary was like, okay, like,
Right.
and I didn't respect it. I was like, what, are you scared? I didn't respect it. I didn't respect it at all. And it was a tit for tat thing, because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you have boundaries all of a sudden? Like, oh, now you need me to respect you? Like, look what the fuck you did. Like, still blaming them for like the situation that, had happened that led us to not be together anymore. That it developed as a layer of entitlement that I had to this person, which is not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Regardless of any way that I could have given it a reason, I had all of the fucking valid reasons to feel all of those ways. I still can look back in hindsight and be like, I didn't respect this person's boundary. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Something you said just brought that memory up. So I just want to take a moment to like be accountable for that.
Yeah.
If that person ever listens to this, I hope that you know that I do apologize.
Yeah.
Um, and most of all, I apologize to myself, for bypassing something I knew I shouldn't have done, because I mean, there's a lot of like instigation there. There was a lot of other layers of that. It wasn't just like, oh, here's a boundary, fuck your boundary. But it was also,
Yeah.
oh, fuck your boundary because
Yeah.
I don't care about it right now.
Right.
But also, I don't want to make an excuse for it. I just want to give it space to just take accountability, because I feel like, as a person who constantly speaks about like wellness, mental health, spirituality, all that good shit, it's like I feel like people expect me to like have not done wrong,
Yeah.
or not done things in certain ways, and it's like, you're absolutely wrong. I've done all of the things wrong. That's how the fuck I have any inclination of like what doesn't feel right. You know, like I'm a whole person. So like, just want to take that accountability and give that love to little me, and forgive her, and take that accountability, because you know it's important. And like I said, I don't know, like I haven't thought about that in so long. And yeah, something you said just like completely, I viscerally felt that whole interaction. And I was just like, what the fuck? Why am I like back in time right now? I don't know. 7 planets are in retrograde. It's a fucking full moon in Pisces. I don't know. You tell me why.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
7 planets, all of them are in retrograde.
I wonder if, I think this popped out. I think when I first went to your moon meet, I think it was the Pisces. I feel like it was
It's
Pisces.
like is it, so it's like what, a 2-year anniversary? Because it's like 2 years, right? That you've been coming?
No, this is gonna be my full 1 year.
Really?
Yeah.
1?
Yeah, I know. No, I'm serious.
Really?
I came back to New York last year. I made a year. I was in Philly.
That's crazy. Why I feel like you've been in my life for a minimum of 2 years. But you came to the
I came to
yard
your
sale
event.
thing.
You had an event
But the
going
yard
on.
sale thing was 2 years ago. That was in 2021. 2021. Yeah, we
The
didn't do
event?
it. Oh, no.
You had the event, and when you had
it was last year.
you had the table, and that's when I got the crystal from you. Yeah.
That was last year. Oh my God, that was last year.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's just that this year is already almost done, so I'm like so confused.
I know.
God, it's crazy. Lori, if you're listening, you know what I mean. What? First of all, I need to talk to you, Lori. So I don't know where you at, but I'm gonna call you after this episode. So if you're still here, just consider that a loving threat. But yo, that is wild. Yeah, that's wild. That is really wild. Fall cleaning, for local people, just know like we're gonna be selling some stuff, doing like a little yard sale again at a point in the fall. So I just want to put that accountability in there to myself. Do the things, but like with love, ease, and compassion, like having it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I also really want to have a not slumber party, but like a pajama party. So I just want to put that out there too.
Oh, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah, pajama party, like because like we're grown, no one's gonna sleep over. But it's like it's like let's have like a slumber party though. Everybody pull up in pajamas, have a DJ. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it could just be chilling. Like we don't need alcohol. We don't need to be partying like that. We just do it sober. Like we can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? But just be chill. Like don't be smacked. Like don't be ridiculous. Like get out. You know what I mean? Just chill. Like I want to try to promote more sober events so that people who don't feel like they want to drink,
they need something to feel a certain way in order to enjoy themselves.
I love dancing, and I don't be wanting I want to go out because I want to dance, but I don't want to deal with the people that are drunk around me. Yeah, like I don't want to deal with this. Like it brings a whole other element of things. I just want to dance. I just want to dance.
Get loose.
I just want to chill. Like, I just want to vibe. Like I don't want to be high. I don't want to be drunk. I just want to vibe. And it's like then you have to put yourself in a certain circumstances. Like this person hitting on you, this person over here, that person's a creep. Like what the fuck is going on? Everyone's drunk. There's like everyone's demons are out here on the dance floor. I'm trying to dance with your demons. Yeah, I'm trying to dance on my own.
Right. I feel you on that.
But yeah, that was just ADHD thought, so I apologize.
No, it's okay.
We get back to pie standards. What are some of yours?
What? These are
your standards.
What is some of my standards? Definitely space. That's something new I definitely recognize about myself, honestly, because that's because I've been healing. I feel that way and learning that, okay, it's healthy to have space. And I enjoy like my peace and myself. Like I enjoy that moment, but I also I'm a people person at the same time. So it's just like, it's so weird. Like I like to have my time to myself.
I know all about it. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's just like, oh, I want to go out. But it's it's different times. Like it comes out randomly. Like
like, oh my God, like I want to be out. And the second I get out, I'm like, I want to be home. I
Right.
want to be away.
Right. And also like talking to me in a certain manner, I would say that because I had situations where like a person just blew up on me and I was just like, okay, I don't talk to you like that and I wouldn't talk to you like that. So we gonna have to rewind and that has to be fixed because I don't like to be talked a certain way, especially even my own family and my mom and stuff. Like they know like no. Like, come to me like, hey, like for example, there was a situation, you wasn't, at what's the best word I could say? Like you needed time to yourself at that moment in time. And I asked something of you. And even though you said no, that was a boundary, I was upset. But I respected it at the same time because I overstand at the same time. So it was just like, damn, I want to do that. But damn, she do need that though. I understand because if I was her, I would want that same thing. So like I understand that 100%. But the way you approach it was completely beautiful. I couldn't get mad at you because it's just like, listen, if it was a different circumstances, I would have done it. But I can't. But if there was another opportunity when it presents itself, definitely.
Yeah.
And I like that. Talk to me. Like don't like because I guess that
Communication.
that stems back from I guess trauma from my childhood, how my parents would like talk to me. And when you talk to me in that manner, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable because I wouldn't do that to you. And that's that. What else is another
And some people just don't have those tools. But then if you realize, I think a big thing about our standards is to realize, like, if some people don't have those tools, it is not a responsibility to sit there and carve them out of wood to hand it to them. They need to do that.
Yeah.
Like, they're the carpenter of their own life.
Yeah.
They need to chisel that shit. Like, because you could sit here and give them the best fucking handmade hammer in the world, and that shit still won't appease them because it's not going to fit their hand the way it would if they made their own.
Yeah. And at that point, then I'm just like, yeah. Cause it's too much energy for like hostility and all of that. Like, it's just, because I'm getting older, who knows? It's just like,
I got the time.
yeah, like, it's just, I really don't. Like I said, I'm here right now. And I'm just like, if it's not contributing to anything in my growth or what I see for myself and what I'm trying to build in a stable foundation, you gotta go. Or you gonna sit on the sideline and I'll hit you up when I got the time to do it because I can't give you what you need and like that neediness of I feel like and and I'm not perfect. I was there. I was there. I was that person of being like that, like, oh, I want to talk to you all the time. And it's just like, no, that's not healthy. Like, I feel like that's not healthy for me. It's not healthy. And I need that. I need that time because I need space to grow. I need space to put more into myself because that is taking out of me to put into you. And I don't have that at that moment in time. I need to get if unless we on the same path. If we both all right, but if we not, then that's
feel it. You feel it when someone's not meeting your standards. Like,
yeah.
And I think it's just once again, like we were saying before, it's just about accepting that.
Yeah.
And not trying to change that. Just accepting that and not trying to change that.
Yeah.
Not falling for the potential because that's not even fair on that person because you're just constantly telling them that they're not enough.
Exactly. And not even oh my God. What I don't like is stand when you're what's that? Stand it? That's stand it. Like you just in a standstill, like you don't like you just in your own like what's that word I'm looking for? Like purgatory? Yeah,
Purgatory?
yeah, purgatory. Like, oh my God, I can't do that day in, day out,
Yeah,
day
not
in,
when
day
you're
out.
trying to find your heaven on earth. That is the opposite. That is the not doing. That is the in between.
Oh my
That's the waiting.
Lord. Oh my God.
That's like, what is it? Limbo.
Oh my God. If like that
When you're
limbo-ness.
not tethered to anything.
Oh my God. No, I can't. I can't. Like, okay, for example, I'm on my road doing what I need to do, standards, whatever. I'm balancing, but I'm also learning to make sacrifices. When you are going through this path, you have to make some sacrifices. Like right now, I'm here on this podcast and I took off of work. So I ain't getting paid. But that's all right because I'm enjoying myself and I feel like this is such a big part of my growth and that's so much more to me than just money. That like I feel that way at least.
But the thing is, like, you are getting paid, because
Oh.
this is a funded episode from the
Well,
DCLA grant, and you are getting paid to be
oh,
on here. So
okay, okay.
I haven't said that on any other of the previous podcasts, but that was just that catalyst right there. I'm like, wait, hold on, now you are getting paid actually.
Okay,
Actually, you are getting paid. So like, so surprised. That's something that you're gonna
But
get
I
after
didn't.
this.
But see, I didn't even know. But even in
Mhm.
the process of that, like
You
I was
made the sacrifice, and you're
right.
still getting, and you're still
It's still a win.
you're still receiving. You're still receiving. Like that's
You're
a
right.
beautiful thing. That's even,
Yeah.
oh my God, like that just makes me even more happy. Also, like less. Like I love giving people money in general, but especially when, like, after that sentence, it's like, yo, boom, like look at the universe helping utilize me to be resourceful and give to the person who is sacrificing. Like, you took the time, you found enough uh value in this podcast to take off from your job to sacrifice getting paid for a day, and like look at it coming back to you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for you. I love that for us.
Yeah, that's so dope. That's why I like this podcast. It's so authentic because
This is why people should fund it, so I could continue to keep paying people that come on here. I love that, and to keep funding them in their creative endeavors.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put that out there because we got one more funded one, and then then we'll have more. I'm gonna put that out there.
Yes, absolutely. This is just the beginning. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But that's crazy. Like, because like I said, this was such worth it. I swear it is. I appreciate this. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that's here.
Mm-hmm.
Listening and watching, enjoying this podcast. I hope that you took the necessary tools and you embody that. Like, yeah, like I love this.
And give yourself a moment to ask yourself, like, what are your standards and what that looks like for you. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on to this pod.
Thank you.
And being you. I just want to also just acknowledge, like, there's a moments of this, like, you can probably run the clip back and look at my face while I'm listening to you speak, where I was just like, yo, because like you always be spitting, but like you were just spitting. Like, there's a segment of like, I'm like, you just need I can't wait for you to listen to your own podcast, because like, oh my God, and you're just such an incredible person. You have an amazing heart, and I do want to just like put that prayer and that love out there and that intention that I do hope that any standards that you set for yourself in any area of your life be met, because you deserve that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we conclude?
Shout out to y'all, know who y'all are. Love y'all. Whoever's watching, y'all know me. I know y'all. That's it. That's it. AKA Sunshine.
Oh yeah, if you want to plug in your, I tagged you, but if you want to plug it in for the people who don't have the Instagram.
Oh, what? How do you mean?
Your Instagram, or whatever you want to share.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely.
Where can we find
on
you?
my journey, so there is. Hold up. So my personal is, Goddess Love, and what's that? The debt. I forgot that. What's that thing?
Underscore?
Underscore. I couldn't think of it for a second.
Oh,
Underscore
you
like.
good.
Sorry, that the
You
brain
good.
fart.
You
Okay.
good.
And then I have my that's my personal, guys. And then I also have my, going through my journey of going to school and stuff, which is Maxine Marie underscore C.
And what are you
So
going to school for?
I am going to school to be an esthetician, guys, and it's going fabulous.
We love that. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for
Yes.
when you pass your test and you out
Yes.
here.
Yes,
So
definitely.
keep it,
Yes.
keep her in your loop
Yes.
for sure.
Because that's just the beginning. I promise you that, as well as Ashes, talk about wellness and stuff. That is definitely going to be not just for your face, but a wellness in general, So definitely stay
And you gotta be
tuned.
mindful with who you get facials by because once again, or who you get anything by. I'm very
Yeah.
particular
No,
with who I
yeah,
get any services
absolutely.
by. So I'm grateful that I have another esthetician that I could trust touching my head. That shout out to you giving me a facial. I needed one so bad. As a person, I've been an esthetician for like fucking I don't know a lot of years, like 7 years since I got my license, but like 9 years since I'm in school. And like, yo, oh my God, like anybody who does anything also knows, like, you start to do something, you're like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I might give myself mini facials here and there, but
Yeah.
like,
It's not the
it's
same.
not
The
the same.
same when
Like, I
somebody
just,
else do
oh
it
my.
and you're relaxing.
So
Absolutely.
shout out to you. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
No problem. Anytime, anytime.
Of course, of course. Yeah, and then vice versa. You already know.
Yeah.
So before we conclude this pod, I'm going to pull a card or two for us. Today is August 30th. It's a full moon in Pisces, blue moon, super moon, all that, what I'm saying? 7 planets in retrograde. What do we need today? And if this isn't today, when you do listen to it, may this reading, if it's something that you're open to tapping in with, may it also apply to you whenever it is that you hear it. So what is it that anybody here now needs to hear and focus on? What can we benefit from embodying and grounding into at this time? Mm-hmm. It would be beneficial. Perfect. Just in alignment with the podcast.
Wow.
So it would be beneficial right now to allow yourself to literally reap the fruits of your benefit. What is it? The fruits of your reward. What is it called? Bearing the fruits of your labor.
Okay.
Bearing the fruits of your labor is the term that I'm looking for. So being able to like utilize the things that you've like worked really hard to cultivate and like embody that. Like it's like, I don't know if y'all can see this. If y'all can see this, but just trust me when I say like it's the Nine of Pentacles and it's all about just like having your own riches and like yeah that could be finances whatever but it's really more about like just knowing your worth which
Yeah.
is perfectly divine with this so it's like
Yeah.
it's interesting because it's like this one is like the feminine counterpart that's like she knows her worth and she has her hand out like this
Right.
and she's letting like a little because it's a different artist depiction of the traditional tarot so it's very drippy realm and like she's letting like this creature, this winged creature, like land on her hand, which like in another one would probably be like a butterfly or a bird. And then you have the masculine counterpart, which is the magician. So it's like, just be mindful, like right now, like what you are cultivating. And it's not like the magician could be looked at as a time to like manifest and do things of that sort. It's not about like, okay, I need to manifest any place. Like, nah, like whatever you're already intaking and doing is manifesting. So like just be mindful of like what you need to balance and like what you need to take out and what you need to put forth. So just being mindful, taking account of what your standards are, taking account of the things that you need, so it's interesting because it's like the masculine and feminine counterpart. It's like really, really dope, how like that's just within ourselves. And then we have the Ace of Cups. So what is filling your cup? Emotionally, like what is filling your cup, you need to be aware of where a spring is so that when you run out of water you can fill yourself up, keep yourself hydrated. Also drink a lot of water physically. in this realm, drink a lot of water and put your intentions, your love, your thanks, your gratitude into your water when you're drinking them. Whether it's tea, whether it's soup, even pray over that before you consume it. You know, like everything with water, just water, 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 water. And any way you can have it, coconut water, you know, water with lemon, water with lime, water right now, water. All right.
If you was not advertising some water.
Yo, I'm saying this is what I mean. Yo, like tap in if you're a water company, your water filtration, and you're trying to get your.
You sound like you was having a jingle there.
For
you was about to do it like,
you see,
water.
I'll sponsor you, your water company, okay? And as long as it's a filter that gets out fluoride and actually works and has a good like cleanliness, we got standards, all right?
Right.
Water. So. And then get it out. Get it out. Right now it's full moon, so it's all about, you know, also purging. Yeah. Get that shit out. Fucking throw up. Yeah. Take a poop.
Yep.
Laugh.
Throw it out.
Cry. Throw it out.
Yeah.
Cut that person off.
Yeah.
Move.
Yeah.
Do whatever.
Yeah.
Shake it out.
It's okay to start over. You'll be all right. Look how far you came. Like, you know, sometimes we get scared of that, like, you know, but look how far. You gotta look, we just talked about we went a whole year. So much things has happened a whole year. Yo, that's crazy.
So much has happened in a whole year.
So much has happened. Like, I would never think that I'll be where I'm at right now, doing what I'm doing right now, knowing what my passion is and working on the things that I'm working on now. And I'm truly humbly and thankful and grateful in so many ways. And I met so many amazing and beautiful people.
Because you are an amazing and beautiful person.
Thank you.
And you deserve to continue to meet people like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just doing that is going to help sharpen your tools of discernment to know who isn't necessarily beautiful and integral people for you.
Right.
You know? And that applies to you, that applies to everybody, you know? So, I mean, it's just important once again to show us to pay attention to what is making us create tools. What tools are being asked of us to create in the circumstances that we're in, and that's really what's coming up. But right now, it's also just like boom, 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 like get it out, get it in, lock it in. In a way, things are formless. In a way, right now, things might not stay the way you want them to. But that's because they're not supposed to. You can't pick up sand or make a sand castle and expect it to last a lifetime. The tides are going to get it. You're going to breathe different. It's going to hit. It's going to move. Like, it's going to drop. Like, everything right now is like sand. So you can take time to mold things and like to see what you want. If you wanted to make like a 3D depiction of a house that you want or something that you want and have it symbolized, but don't be upset when it runs through it runs through your fingers, because sand's gonna be sand,
right? And
everything's sand right now. So let it
right.
create and destroy. So that's what I gotta say. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that listens to this podcast. And thank you to Staten Island Arts for being the catalyst of me getting the DCLA grant to be able to help support creatives, help support all of us in a good way like that. Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And shout out to everybody, you know. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Lori for also being a reason I have this grant that helped me immensely. You know, shout out to Kenny for being the best and doing all the things all the time.
Like right outside, he let me in.
Kenny be there. He really does.
He came like perfect time. I'm out there like,
the support system is real. I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for y'all. Shout out to my mom and my dad for birthing me and for all of my lineage and for all of our lineages and our roots and ancestors, everybody that came before us.
Yes.
And thank you for y'all for listening and for like keeping this going. Episode fucking 98. Like what? Like this episode's 99. It's gonna be 100.
Oh wow!
Oh my God. I gotta figure out what 100 is, but I'm not gonna stress myself out about it. I need to go eat. So bye. Love you guys.
Bye.